There is a tiny seed most people throw away without a second thought. Yet one of its natural compounds has attracted serious attention from aging researchers. Not because it has been proven to make humans live forever, and not because it can magically rebuild every damaged organ. The real reason is far more interesting. Inside grape seeds is a plant compound called procyanidin C1. In laboratory and animal research, scientists found that this compound could target certain worn-out cells that stop functioning normally, but refuse to leave the body. These aging cells can release inflammatory signals that disturb nearby tissue, interfere with repair, and create an environment where healthy stem cells may struggle to do their job. Now, this does not mean chewing a handful of grape seeds will suddenly renew your stem cells, but it does raise an important question. Could compounds hidden inside this overlooked seed help support the conditions your body needs for healthier aging? Because after 60, longevity is not only about adding years to your life, it is about protecting the repair systems that help your muscles recover, your blood vessels remain flexible, your immune system respond, and your tissues replace damaged cells. And here is where online advice becomes dangerous. Some people hear the words stem cell renewal and immediately buy concentrated supplements, take large doses, or combine them with medications without understanding the risks. The form, dose, and quality of the evidence matter enormously. So, in this video, we are going to separate the exciting science from the exaggeration. You will discover what grapeseed compounds actually did in the research, why removing damaged aging cells may help healthy tissue function better, and the safest, most practical ways to support your body's natural repair systems. But stay with me, because later I will explain the crucial difference between extending life in a mouse and improving longevity in a human being. That single distinction may save you from wasting money or making a choice that works against your health. Before we talk about grape seeds, we need to clear up one phrase that is often misunderstood: stem cell renewal. Your body already contains adult stem cells. Think of them as small repair crews stationed in places such as your bone marrow, skin, muscles, and intestines. When tissue is worn down or injured, these cells can help replace certain damaged cells and support normal maintenance. But they are not magic blank cells that rebuild anything on command. And after 60, the problem is not simply that you run out of stem cells. The environment around those cells changes. Inflammation may remain elevated, blood sugar may stay high, circulation may become less efficient, sleep may be lighter, muscle use may decline. Over time, those conditions can make the body's repair response slower and less coordinated. That is why the word renewal can be misleading. Healthy aging is less like installing a brand new engine, and more like keeping an experienced maintenance crew supplied with clean tools, clear instructions, and a safe place to work. A single seed cannot do all of that, but certain foods may support parts of that environment by providing fiber, protective plant compounds, and nutrients connected with cardiovascular and metabolic health. And here is the encouraging part. Your repair systems do not simply switch off on your 60th birthday. They remain active, although their performance can decline with age. Researchers continue studying why adult tissue stem cells lose function over time, and how their surroundings influence regeneration. Quick favor before we go further. Tell me your city, state, or country in the comments. Seeing where you are watching from helps me understand who is listening and shape future advice around the concerns older adults face in different communities. Now stay with me, because the story coming next shows how easily a promising discovery can be turned into a dangerous health claim. The goal is not to chase a miracle. It is to reduce the burdens that interfere with repair, while strengthening the basics your body still responds to: movement, nourishing food, sleep, stable blood sugar, good circulation, and appropriate medical care. Once you understand that, the grapeseed research becomes more useful and much less likely to mislead you. At 72, Margaret had become suspicious of anything described as a longevity breakthrough. She had seen too many bottles make promises that sounded scientific and delivered nothing but an expensive receipt. Still, when a neighbor told her that grapeseed extract could wake up stem cells, the phrase caught her attention. Margaret had recently noticed that small things took longer to recover from: A sore knee lingered after gardening. A cold seemed to drain her energy for days. Even a poor night's sleep left her feeling older the next morning. So she did what many careful people do. She searched online. Within minutes, she found dramatic claims: reverse aging, rebuild tissue, renew organs, restore youth. One website showed a microscope image. Another quoted a study without explaining whether it involved people, mice, or isolated cells in a laboratory dish. That difference matters more than most people realize. Margaret almost ordered the strongest supplement she could find. Then she paused and brought the label to her pharmacist. That simple decision changed the direction of the story. The pharmacist noticed that Margaret was already taking medicine that affected blood clotting. He explained that concentrated grapeseed products may interact with some medications, and that natural does not automatically mean harmless. He also pointed out that promising laboratory findings are not the same as proven benefits in older adults. Instead of chasing the largest dose, Margaret focused on the broader habits that actually support recovery. She walked most days. She added protein to breakfast. She improved her sleep routine. She ate grapes, berries, nuts, beans, and vegetables more regularly. And most importantly, she discussed every supplement with her healthcare team before taking it. 3 months later, she did not look 20 years younger, but she felt steadier, slept better, and recovered more comfortably after activity. Was that because of one seed? No. It was because she stopped asking, "What single product can reverse aging?" and started asking, "What helps my body repair itself every day?" And that is the question that leads us to the real value of grape seeds, not as a miracle, but as one possible piece of a much larger longevity pattern. So what exactly is inside a grapeseed that made scientists pay attention? The answer is not one vitamin or mineral. Grape seeds contain a family of protective plant chemicals known as procyanidins. These compounds help defend the plant against environmental stress. Inside the human body, researchers are studying whether they may also influence oxidative stress, inflammation, blood vessel function, and other processes connected with aging. One specific compound has created the greatest excitement. It is called procyanidin C1, or PCC1. In a study published in Nature Metabolism, researchers tested PCC1 against senescent cells. These are older, damaged cells that have stopped dividing, but remain active. They are sometimes called zombie cells because they no longer perform their original job properly. Yet they can release inflammatory substances that affect surrounding tissue. At lower concentrations, PCC1 reduced some harmful signals produced by these cells. At higher concentrations, it selectively destroyed certain senescent cells in laboratory experiments. That sounds extraordinary. But here is what headlines often leave out. The dramatic longevity findings came from mice, not from a large clinical trial involving adults over 60. The researchers reported improved physical function and longer remaining lifespan in treated mice. They did not prove that grape seeds renew human stem cells. They did not prove that grape seeds reverse aging in people. And they did not prove that grape seeds prevent cancer. There is another distinction you must understand. PCC1 is a purified compound found within grapeseed extract. It is not the same as casually swallowing the hard seeds inside a few grapes. Scientists used controlled amounts and specific preparations. We do not know whether ordinary grape consumption delivers a comparable dose, or whether trying to imitate the experimental dose would be safe or useful. Still, grape seeds contain more than PCC1. Their proanthocyanidins have been investigated in small human trials for effects on circulation and blood pressure. One randomized study involving middle-aged adults with prehypertension tested grapeseed proanthocyanidin extract for 12 weeks. It reported improvements in some vascular measurements, but the trial included only 30 participants and cannot establish broad longevity benefits. This is where the science becomes both promising and humbling. The seed may contain compounds capable of influencing biological pathways associated with cellular aging. But a pathway is not a guarantee. A mouse is not a human, and an extract is not a fountain of youth. The real opportunity is to understand what this discovery teaches us about aging. without turning an early scientific clue into an unsafe promise. Now we need to interrupt one of the most seductive myths in the longevity world. The myth is this: if a compound removes damaged cells in a laboratory, then taking more of it must make a person younger. That conclusion sounds logical. It is also far ahead of the evidence. The grape-seed compound PCC1 acted on senescent cells in laboratory models. In aged mice, researchers also reported improvements in physical function and survival. But the study did not prove that an over-the-counter grapeseed supplement renews human stem cells, reverses aging, or extends human life. And here is the belief-breaking point. Senescent cells are not always enemies. Some can assist wound healing and normal tissue responses. The concern is their chronic accumulation and inflammatory signaling, not simply their existence. Aging biology is a balanced system. Trying to clear cells without human evidence is not the same as supporting healthy repair. This is where marketing quietly changes the language. Studied in mice becomes activates your stem cells, contains a promising compound, becomes clinically proven anti-aging, and natural becomes safe at any dose. None of those leaps is justified. Grapeseed extract may be tolerated by many adults, but people taking medicines should speak with a healthcare professional before using it. Research has also found effects on platelet activity and blood coagulation, which may matter for seniors taking medicines that affect bleeding. So do not judge a supplement by the excitement of its headline. Ask 3 questions. Was the research performed in humans? Was the exact product and dose tested? And did it improve a meaningful health outcome? Those questions protect you from confusing an early discovery with a proven treatment. Because the promising lesson is not that a seed has defeated aging. It is that scientists are learning how the cellular environment affects repair, and that knowledge may eventually lead to safer ways to protect function as we grow older. Here is where the grapeseed story becomes more useful than the headline. Longevity is not controlled by one switch. It depends on several systems working together. Blood vessels delivering oxygen, cells managing energy, the immune system controlling inflammation, the gut handling nutrients, and damaged tissue being repaired at the right time. Grapeseed compounds may influence some of these systems, but mostly through indirect support rather than by turning on stem cells. Start with the blood vessels. Every repair process depends on circulation. A muscle cannot recover well if oxygen and nutrients do not reach it. The brain cannot function normally if blood flow is unstable. Skin, nerves, kidneys, and the heart all depend on healthy vessels. Human studies and combined analyses suggest grapeseed extract may produce modest reductions in blood pressure in some groups. However, results vary, and researchers still call for larger, longer trials. That matters because high blood pressure quietly damages the inner lining of arteries. Over many years, that damage creates a harsher environment for every tissue repair system in the body. Then there is oxidative stress. Your cells constantly produce unstable molecules as they create energy. Normally, the body controls them. But smoking, poorly controlled blood sugar, chronic inflammation, and other stressors can push the balance in the wrong direction. Proanthocyanidins are antioxidant plant compounds. Researchers are studying how they may affect this cellular stress, but do not confuse antioxidant activity in a laboratory with guaranteed disease prevention in a person. The next pathway is chronic inflammation. Remember those senescent or worn-out cells? Some release inflammatory signals that disturb surrounding tissue. The original PCC1 research found effects on these cells in laboratory experiments and mouse models. A newer study also reported that PCC1 countered some age-related immune and blood-forming changes in mice. That is scientifically interesting. But it remains animal research. It is not proof that a supplement renews the bone marrow or immune system of an older adult. And here is the bigger lesson. Healthy stem cells do not work alone. They respond to their environment. Better circulation, regular movement, sufficient protein, restorative sleep, stable glucose, and avoidance of tobacco all help create conditions in which normal repair can function. So the seed is not the orchestra conductor. At best, its compounds may be one instrument in a much larger performance. And if the rest of the orchestra is out of tune, no capsule can create longevity by itself. Now let us examine the study behind the excitement. In 2021, researchers published a study in Nature Metabolism on procyanidin C1, the compound from grapeseed extract we have been discussing. First, they tested it on cells in the laboratory. At certain concentrations, PCC1 reduced the inflammatory behavior of senescent cells. At higher concentrations, it destroyed some of those damaged cells while leaving many healthier cells less affected. The scientists then studied aged mice. When old mice received intermittent PCC1 treatment, the researchers reported improvements in several measures of physical function. In very old mice, treatment was also associated with longer remaining lifespan. That is the finding behind headlines suggesting that grape seeds may promote longevity. But pay attention to what the research did not establish. It did not show that eating seeded grapes extends human life. It did not show that commercially available grapeseed capsules reproduce the same effect. It did not directly demonstrate the renewal of human stem cells. And it did not involve thousands of seniors followed for many years. The researchers worked with a purified compound, carefully controlled doses, cultured cells, and animal models. That is valuable early-stage science, but it is the beginning of an investigation, not the final answer. Human research on grapeseed extract has focused more on outcomes such as blood pressure and vascular function. For example, one small randomized double-blind trial followed 30 adults between 40 and 64 who had pre-hypertension. Participants took either 200 milligrams, 400 milligrams, or a placebo daily for 12 weeks. The study reported improvements in some blood pressure and blood vessel measurements, but its small size limits how confidently those results can be applied to millions of older adults. So here is the honest medical conclusion. PCC1 is an intriguing research compound. Grapeseed extract may have modest cardiovascular effects in some people, but no responsible physician can currently say that a grapeseed has been proven to renew human stem cells or extend human lifespan. The discovery deserves attention. The marketing deserves caution. And now, let us talk about how to approach grape seeds and grapeseed supplements safely, especially if you take blood pressure medicine, aspirin, or a prescription blood thinner. So, should you begin swallowing grape seeds or ordering the strongest extract you can find? No. The safest approach starts by separating whole food from concentrated supplement. Eating ordinary grapes as part of a balanced diet is very different from taking a capsule containing concentrated grapeseed extract. Whole grapes provide water, fiber, and plant compounds in a food-sized amount. Their natural sugar still matters for people managing diabetes, so portions should fit your individual eating plan. The hard seeds themselves can be unpleasant to chew, and they are not necessary for receiving the general benefits of eating grapes. Do not grind large quantities at home. And do not assume that more seeds provide greater protection. Supplements require more caution. Grapeseed extract is generally well tolerated by many people. But anyone taking medication should speak with a healthcare professional before using it, because herbal products can interact with medicines. That conversation becomes especially important if you take warfarin, apixaban, rivaroxaban, clopidogrel, daily aspirin, or another medicine that affects clotting. Laboratory evidence suggests grapeseed compounds may reduce platelet activity. This could potentially increase the effects of anticoagulant or antiplatelet drugs. Although the true clinical importance is still uncertain, do not stop prescribed medication to make room for a supplement. And do not use grapeseed extract as a substitute for blood pressure treatment, cancer therapy, diabetes care, or medical evaluation. If your clinician believes a supplement is reasonable, choose a product with independent quality testing. Follow the labeled serving rather than doubling it. Introduce only one new supplement at a time, so you can identify the cause if you develop stomach upset, headache, dizziness, bruising, or another unexpected symptom. Stop and seek medical guidance if you notice unusual bleeding, black stools, persistent nosebleeds, or widespread unexplained bruising. People preparing for surgery should tell the surgical team about every supplement they take. Cancer patients should speak with their oncologist before using concentrated antioxidant or herbal extracts. Treatment plans differ, and supplements may not be appropriate during certain therapies. But here is the most practical choice for most viewers. Do not chase a laboratory dose. Build a food pattern rich in colorful fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, whole grains, and appropriate protein. Let grapes be one food within that pattern, not a medicine, and certainly not a promise of immortality. That approach is less dramatic. It is also far more likely to support the health you are trying to protect. So where does this leave you? Not with a miracle seed, but with a better way to think about longevity. Your body's repair systems are supported by daily choices that seem ordinary. Walking, strength-building movement, enough protein, good sleep, stable blood pressure, controlled blood sugar, and a diet built around whole foods. Grape-seed compounds may become part of future anti-aging research. That possibility is exciting. But today, the strongest action is not buying the boldest supplement. It is creating the conditions in which your own cells can function as well as possible. Remember Margaret. She did not regain youth from a capsule. She gained something more realistic and more valuable. Better habits, better guidance, and more control over her health. That is the message I want you to keep. Do not dismiss promising science, but do not let marketing outrun the evidence. Ask questions. Check whether the research involved people. Review supplements with your doctor or pharmacist, and never replace proven treatment with a product promising rapid renewal. If this video helped you understand the difference, subscribe for more clear, practical health guidance for adults over 60. Then share this with someone who may be tempted by anti-aging claims that sound too good to question. Longevity is rarely hidden in one seed. It is built, day by day, through many small decisions that protect your strength, your independence, and your dignity.